So this woman cuts her husband into pieces, stuffs him into suitcases, then drives 200 miles just to dump them into the bay. And somehow that's not even the worst part of this story. Now the woman's name is Melanie. She's a fertility nurse in New Jersey and she's married to this guy, Bill. But here's the thing. Even though on papers they look like the perfect family, they have 2 sons and they are in the process of buying their dream house. But things are not so perfect. Well, at least not for Melanie. Because the clinic Melanie works at, there's this guy, Dr. Bradley. He's married and is Melanie's boss. And him and Melanie are having an affair. Not a fling, a full-blown relationship. They talk about leaving their spouses and she's actually going around telling people that she's deeply in love with him. And this is where it gets dark. Melanie at some point starts looking into divorce and soon enough she realizes that it's pretty expensive. There's custody battle involved, splitting everything and even child support going both ways. And she is worried, like genuinely worried about the money it will cost her to get away from Bill legally. So she decides to get away from him by killing Bill for good. On 26th April 2004, Melanie goes to a gun shop in Pennsylvania and buys a gun. And she also buys some wad cutter cartridges. And sometimes before that, she Googles how to commit murder, undetectable poison, how to purchase gun illegally, colloidal hydrates, which is a very strong sedative. What is this with criminal Googling things? Maybe read a book or 2 instead. Anyways, one day at work, Melanie takes Dr. Bradley's prescription pad. She forges a prescription for chloral hydrate and even uses name of a real patient as cover. Clever. It's 28th April 2004. Melanie and Bill finally closed the deal on their dream home. They signed the mortgage documents and it's now a done deal. And that night they celebrated with a glass of wine. But what Bill didn't know that his glass of wine had chloral hydrate in it. So Bill drinks it and he passes out. Melanie then grabs the gun she bought from Pennsylvania and shoots Bill 3 times. And she uses her sofa's cushion as a silencer. Unfortunately, Bill dies. She then gets an electric saw, cuts Bill into pieces, wraps him in black bin bags and stuffs him in a set of suitcases which him and Bill bought together. She then drives over 200 miles and throws the suitcases in Chesapeake Bay. The next day, Melanie contacts her friends and family and tells them that Bill attacked her the previous night, pushed her against the wall and tried to choke her, and said that he was leaving and never coming back. She even says that he had a gambling addiction and he was violent, trying to frame him like a villain. And this is where she takes it to a crazy level cover story. She goes to the police and files for a restraining order against Bill. Yeah, and then she contacts a divorce lawyer. Usually people report the other person missing after killing them, but nope, she files a restraining order against him. Anyways, just after a few days, 2 fishermen and their kids were out fishing in Chesapeake Bay. And they see a green suitcase floating in the water. So they grab it and open it. And inside that they find Bill's legs. They call the police and police opens a murder investigation. At this stage, they don't know it's Bill's legs, of course. But just 6 days later, a graduate student cleaning litter on the beach finds a suitcase, and this suitcase Bill's head and torso in it. And after a few days, a 3rd suitcase is floating near the bridge. So police creates a facial reconstruction sketch and releases it on local TV. Few days goes by and one of Bill's friend was watching TV and he looks at the sketch and recognizes Bill. So he calls the police. Now police has a name and the first person they look into is Melanie. And this is where everything falls apart for Melanie. They trace her gun purchase and wad cutter cartridges purchase. The same cartridges they find in Bill's body. So they look deep into her and find her Google searches. Remember the ones? How to buy gun illegally and all that stuff? Then they find an empty pack of chloral hydrate which they trace back to Dr. Bradley's prescription pad and the suitcases which Bill and Melanie bought together. The bin bags which she wrapped Bill's parts in come back as a match for the same bin bags which were at Melanie's and Bill's apartment. They also find a medical grade towel with Bill's body, and that matches the towel stocked at Melanie's fertility clinic. If that wasn't enough, they find green sofa cushion fibers on one of the bullets from Bill's chest. The cushion she used as a silencer, and then she kept the sofa in her apartment, and a tall charge on her easy pass when she was going to the bay to dump the suitcases. With this much evidence, at this point it's like she wanted to get caught. So boom, they arrest Melanie. And at the trial, even Dr. Bradley testifies against her and said that the affair is over. Well, Melanie gets sentenced to life and is eligible for parole in 2073. She'll be 100 years old. The next one I've got lined up makes this looks like a parking ticket. Subscribe if you want more.